So without any delay at all, I'm going to invite Golfo Kateva to join us. And I'll launch your presentation.
So before I start my presentation, I would like to thank Cardet and Christina Bochari for inviting me to this conference and the rest of the partnership for their warm welcome. Can you hear me now? No? It's on. Now? Okay, I have to speak louder then. Okay. So, as I said, I wanted to thank Cardet and Christina for inviting me here to this conference and the rest of the partnership for their warm welcome. A few words about me. I work as a project manager at Synthesis Center for Research and Education. In Cyprus, my background is in psychology and systemic counseling, and I'm currently undertaking a master's degree in educational psychology. What I'm going to present you today is some information about synthesis and about the Hub Nicosia, methodologies for language learning, and on these methodologies are based the projects that I'm going to present you and their products. So about synthesis is an enterprise dedicated in the field of the social entrepreneurship. We work with all Cypriot communities across the island, meaning Turkish Cypriot and Greek Cypriot communities, because Cyprus is a divided country, for you that do not know about this. And we have more than 10 years of experience in the implementation of EU projects. Hub Nicosia is our new baby. We launched it in September 2015, and it aims to become the focal point for social innovation and social entrepreneurship in the country. And it is already a cluster of organizations working in bringing a positive change in the society and the environment. And just a few photos. As you can see, it's an old house that it is renovated. We have a co-working space where young entrepreneurs can come and rent just a desk, because of the economic crisis, young people cannot afford to rent a whole office. So this is a good solution for them. They can also use the meeting room, and there is also a nice cafe where they can have a break. Okay, so let's proceed with the rest of the presentation. I don't know if you're familiar about this methodology, the content language integration learning. It is a term that it was created in 1994 by David Marsh and Anne Myers. It's a methodology where both the subject and the language is taught. For example, you can teach English language while teaching history, for example. It has been identified by the European Commission as very important, because pupils can use their new language skills now. It opens doors on languages for a broader range of learners, and teachers do not have to make big changes in the curriculum in order to teach a language. The second theory that the projects I'm going to present you are based is the intergenerational learning. It's a methodology we're all familiar with, since we all learn from each other. So a grandparent can teach their grandchild, and also a parent can learn while their child is learning. While assisting in studying, they can also learn. It is an important part of lifelong learning, and generations work together to gain skills, value, and knowledge. It helps to develop social capital and social cohesion in our aging societies, and it is a way, I missed a slide, behind, a way of enhancing intergenerational solidarity through intergenerational practice and involvement of family members, as I mentioned before. The third theory is about blended learning. There is a classification of 6 models when it comes to blended learning. The face-to-face driver, where the teacher drives the instruction and augments with digital tools. The rotation, which is online study mainly, and face-to-face classroom time, if it is needed, and the flex, where most of the curriculum is delivered via digital platforms. There are 3 more. Labs, all the curriculum is delivered via digital platform, but in a consistent physical location. It's not that they are doing it from home. Self-blend, where students choose to augment their traditional learning with online coursework, and the last one is the online driver, where all the curriculum again is delivered through a digital platform, and face-to-face meetings are scheduled if necessary. We already talked about this. It's nice to have technology while teaching, but it needs to be reliable, easy to use, and up to date. Now let's continue with the projects. The Welcome Project, you can visit also the website. This is a screenshot from the home page. We don't have to enter the website because I have screenshots. We don't know if the technology is going to happen again, so let's avoid it. The aim of the project, what's this project about? Is to provide opportunities to young children, migrant children, in pre-primary and primary school age to start education equally with the rest of the children in the classroom. To raise awareness of the importance of education for social inclusion among migrant parents, and to develop an innovative tool for non-formal language learning. In the website, you can find also some good practices that partners selected and are included in this website. They're focused on on pre-primary and primary education for young children. The main product of the project will be a multimedia learning kit that will include animated films. I have a link with the first episode. It's just 1 minute, and I hope it will be easy to play it. There will be also language games and visual learning material as a follow-up to make sure that children have understood what they just were shown by their teachers. And comic books with a fairy tale. One fairy tale is a well-known fairy tale, The Little Red Riding Hood, and the other one is a local fairy tale. And the purpose is for migrant children to see the cultural aspects of their host society or of their new home, their new country. So, may we try to see the first episode? The family is staying at Europe Street. As you can see over there, the name of the street. At the first episode, the family is introduced, the family members. We have the father, the mother, the son, and the daughter. And it says what they can do. They are young, but they can do a lot of things. They can count up to 12. They can play soccer. They can do things that other kids can do as well. Okay. Just to see the characters, I mean, the faces, how they designed them. So this is the house, and the family will come out of the door if the video proceeds. Although it's just a minute, 1 minute video, it takes too long. It started in 2013, but in January 2016, we will have the whole multimedia kit ready, and we will do also a pilot testing in schools, so that we have some feedback and see if there are improvements that need to be done. Okay, let's skip the video because it's taking a long time. We will proceed with another project, the AG Novel project. Okay, now we have a full screen. We need you here, David. Okay. So the next project is Advanced Graphic Novel project. As you can understand from the title of the project, we are developing a novel, again for language learning for migrants. But I might be saying migrants, but they can also be used for other target groups. It's not just, but our motivation was migrant language learning. Okay, let me, all right. This is the website where you can visit also and read some information about the project. So, yes, as I said, a new type of graphic novel will be developed that will be used on new mobile touchscreen devices like tablets and mainly iPad. The program will be for iPad only at this point. So we are working closely with Apple because they are interested in adapting this tool within their applications. The novel is enhanced with audio from native speakers, and learners will be motivated through a compelling story, which I will give you briefly later with the characters. Apart from the linguistic aspects, the learners will learn also how to apply for a job, how to prepare themselves for a job interview, how to resolve conflicts in the workplace, cultural differences and behaviors within an enterprise. So it's not just language learning, because most of the migrants don't even know how to write a CV. They don't know the structure of a CV. So we thought that it will be very useful to provide them with some instructions on how to do it, and even present them the Europass CV, which is very common used in EU countries. So these are the characters of the of the story. We have Charlene, which is the first lady over there, and Jasmine. So they applied for a job vacancy in a company named Parker and Brown Restoration Company. And Peter, the man in the middle, helped Charlene to prepare herself for the interview and application. So this is where learners are going to be taught how to apply for a job and how to prepare their CV. So these two characters are going to be used in that module. Both of these two ladies, they applied for this vacancy, and they were both qualified. So Miss Anne-Marie Williams, who is a human resource manager, and John Parker, who is the director of the company, they decided to give both of them the opportunity to work on the restoration of a fresco as freelancers. And after they finish the work, they would decide which of the two will be hired in the company, based not only on their work, but also in their ability to be part of the team of the company. So it's not just the skills that they have, but also if they can be team players. This is also another aspect that young migrant learners will be taught. It's not only the skills you have, but it's also your ability to cooperate with other people in a working environment. What happened at the end? Charlene received many compliments from her boss on the work she was doing at the fresco, and Jasmine got jealous, and she was thinking of how am I going to get the position. So she came up with a plan to destroy the fresco with a bucket of red paint. And she put the whole paint on the fresco, and they accused Charlene for this event. But again, Charlene and Peter, her friend, they managed to find evidences to prove that she was innocent, and she was the person who got the position at the company. So it's also the moral aspects when you are working, and this is something that they will be also taught. This is how the pages on the iPad will look like. There will also be exercises for comprehension after each chapter. Of course, you can understand that the level is not for beginners. They need to have a knowledge of the language, so we are talking about level B1, B2 and above. What do you think of the design of the characters? So I have questions now because I need your opinion as well. Would you find them appealing to young people? Okay, especially Charlene, yes. I think she's very artistic and vibrant and
areas or from poor areas or environments that are not so conducive with learning or with
yes,
a kind of work environment, then absolutely they will. Yeah, I think so.
yes. And the way she's dressed is more plain if you compare it to Jasmine, which is more fancy and okay. We're at the phase of pilot testing now, so you could contact the partners organizations, if you wish to participate in this pilot testing with your students maybe, or if you have an organization with migrants and you want to participate in this testing, you are more than welcome. After the testing, as I said before, it will be available from Apple Store. And the third project is a Take Care project. Again, you can access it on the website. This project aimed to help migrants to improve their language skills about healthcare matters. What we noticed is that usually migrants, when they go to a doctor, they take their child with them as a translator. And healthcare issues are very delicate issues. And there are things that children shouldn't know, for example. This is why this project was designed, in order to help migrant people learn basic expressions related to health issues, in order to avoid using the children as translators. And here are the main project products. It's the phrasebook, which I have it also with me. So you can have a look at it. This is a word fun. It's like a glossary. It doesn't seem easy to use it, but you're not supposed to use it like this. It's in 17 languages. So I'm sure you will find your language here. There is a screw here. You unscrew it. You choose the languages you need, separate them, and then put the screw again, and you can use it very easily then while teaching. Okay? And one more here for you to go around. Yes. Although it was designed for adult migrants, the design was very appealing to children. And I think it could be used also for teaching young people about healthcare issues as well, not only adult migrants, parents, I mean. And there are also line exercises, and the phrasebook, you can download it also in Apple Store devices from the website of the project. The phrasebook also can be downloaded in PDF format. You can print and reuse the material while teaching. So these were the projects that I wanted to present you. If you have any questions or comments about the projects,
It would appear so, yeah. Everybody's a little bit tired. They're very, very interesting, though. About the hub in Nicosia, do you have support from the Cypriot government? Or it's
a private initiative.
so how's it funded?
From our own resources.
Well, that's very good. Sorry, Tim.
Right, I'm interested about the language course for, especially for migrants, as you were saying. You're, as far as I understood you, you're also trying to give kind of cultural background information, especially. Do you actually differentiate between the different migrant cultures? That's to say, do you just provide, okay, that's the way it is, or do you give different kinds of explanations, different kinds of input, depending on the culture the migrants come from?
When somebody visits the website, they can find, for example, in the Take Care project, they can find information about healthcare issues in migrant communities. For example, a Muslim woman is not allowed to visit a male doctor. So also doctors are advised on how to handle situations like this, but also migrants are taught the local habits, let's say. It's not one way, it's two-way, providing cultural information, and for the migrant and for the local community. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Golf. Well, that was great.